10 years ago today, the Cerro Grande Fire was deemed a wildfire. It started as a controlled burn, and New Mexico's spring winds whipped it into a monster that destroyed forests, homes, and lives. News 13's Diana Salcedo went back to the site and found that this tragedy has become a lesson.
The Cerro Grande Fire burned more than 47,000 acres and 350 homes. It flattened a beloved forest, but that experience is feeding a new generation living in Los Alamos. It started as a controlled burn at Bandelier National Monument on May 4th, 2000. And just a day later, the Cerro Grande Fire jumped lines and it was declared a wildfire. 18,000 people were evacuated, hundreds of homes were destroyed, and tens of thousands of acres of forest were consumed.
Every one of these trees were all planted by sixth graders.
Gary Washburn was there. He's now principal at Mountain Elementary in Los Alamos. Every year since the fire, sixth graders come to Zone Trail. They plant trees, log data, and work to improve the trails. This group is rewriting the trail book.
A long time ago, the sixth graders, they made booklets and they put information and plants that you should look at when you come to each station. So now we're going to each station and making observations about what's different.
They saw a whole bunch of soot on the ground. Really, it didn't have that much life in it. Now it's a lot more alive, and it's just a forest trying to regrow back, and we're just trying to help it.
My thoughts race because every inch of every trail in Los Alamos County brings back a memory to me of who helped bring this back to what we have now.
Craig Martin now works for the Los Alamos County Parks Division. He's been instrumental in the volunteer efforts. He gets 30 volunteers on weekends to work on the trail. Volunteers planted 28,000 tiny seedlings, this in the midst of a drought here in New Mexico at the time. There was little chance these tiny trees would survive, but then something extraordinary happened.
And all the trees along the trail were living, and we really couldn't figure out why, and we just kept looking at it, and we realized that people were watering them.
A volunteer planted tree got some special care.
Also, volunteers surrounded the base of the trees with wood or rocks to conserve the water. The survival rate was nearly 3 times what was expected. Now there are trees as tall as 8 feet.
It's a different kind of beauty here. I mean, look at these wonderful grass stands that we have, dotted with green, and we have yuccas coming up. The wildflowers here are incredible in July.
Martin says the volunteer efforts brought the community together then and now, and that will impact the future.
This fire gave incredible opportunities for education, gave us a chance to rebuild the forest in a way so that future generations of folks who live in Los Alamos won't have to worry so much about such a disastrous wildfire again.
And tonight at 10, we will meet 2 survivors of the Cerro Grande Fire, the hero who stayed to save homes and a couple who found true love through the fire. For more on the 10th anniversary of the Cerro Grande Fire, just log on to krqe.com.